Hey there YouTube, Steltaga here with a brand new video. Today I have for you how to be an assault class in Battlefront 2, so let's get right into it. This video is basically just a couple of tips and tricks that I have learned playing with the Rifleman in Battlefront 2, or I'm sorry, assault class. It's actually my favorite class out of all the other classes. It's pretty good. I like him a lot, and hopefully with Battlefront 2 coming out tonight on CD, CD. It's coming out tonight at midnight. So if you guys are getting it, hopefully this helps you out. And if you already have it, hopefully it helps you out anyway. Basically, the Rifleman is just the standard galactic soldier of battle. He's armed with a rifle. He has moderate health and durability, speed, all that type of stuff. He's versatile for every situation, and generally is pretty effective in most combat scenarios that you find yourself in the game. Basically, his bread and butter, though, is mid to close range combat, armed with a blaster rifle. Obviously, you can augment that different ways depending on your playstyle. You can see here I'm using the CR2, and it's a very close range blaster, which is something that I like. I like close range fighting, so I use the close range blaster. There's only 4 blasters, though. Some of them are much better at mid-range. I think 2 of them are much better at mid-range, and then 1 of them is much better at long-range or mid-range combat as well. But I like the close-range one, so that's what I use. Anyway, you can see he has pretty good speed, and he has pretty good durability as well. He's no heavy like tank character, but you know, you can take a couple hits and keep going, which is nice. But you don't want to try to tank a lot of shots like the heavy. If you try to do that, it's not going to end well for you. But you can see I'm going pretty good here. So really the thing you want to do with the Rifleman is to play the objective. That's how you're going to get a lot of kills with them. You don't want to be exactly frontline, but you don't want to hang back either, because hanging back will kind of prevent your blaster rifle, which is not very high damage over long range, from getting kills. Most of your points are going to come from playing the objective, and besides, objectives award the most points anyway, typically in a game, because they try to motivate you to play the objective, you know, all that stuff. But anyway, he's a very good fighter. He works pretty well. Durability is very high. I like him. You can see here he goes pretty hard against multiple units, and he can take a couple shots without really flinching, and that's pretty nice. Really, the way you're gonna cash out, like on battle points, which allow you to get heroes and stuff, the way you're gonna cash out with the assault class is to flank people. Flanking is the way to roll. Obviously, if you're a heavy, you're gonna take the front line, right? And so that's what a lot of people do as the heavy. And then assault units typically follow the heavy into battle, so that they're not just tanking hits and getting killed right away, because obviously the Rifleman is durable, and he is pretty durable, but you don't want to try to tank hits, because if you're the first one going into the objective, you're going to die instantly, because everyone's waiting for you, and you're just going to get mowed down. So basically with the Rifleman, you want to stick to areas of relative cover. He's not his own cover like the heavy is. You gotta stick to areas of relative cover. That helps quite a bit, so that if you do get into trouble, you can duck behind something real quick and hopefully survive that situation. But with the Rifleman, you want to play the objective, so you gotta wait for the heavies to go in first. There are times where you will go in first, and we'll discuss that later, but you gotta wait for the heavies to go in first. Once they engage the enemy and the enemy's distracted with them, you want to flank, like what I'm doing right here. You can see I'm going around, and I'm just cashing out on kills, because I'm behind everybody, and they don't know I'm there, which is really great. There's no way to talk about the Rifleman, though, without talking about his abilities. So we're going to start off with the Vanguard ability. This is the time you would want to run straight into objective. If you ever have to, this is the way to do it. Basically, he pulls out a scattergun, runs faster, and takes less damage for a couple seconds. So you can see the timer next to my aiming reticle. It does insane damage at close range, and if you use it correctly, you can get a ton of kills with it. It works especially well with flanking. So that's a good combo to use. When you're behind people with that thing, you can just absolutely destroy. And it kills most people in one shot. Obviously the heavy and enforcer units are a little bit harder to kill, and you have to be very close and on target to get that one shot, but it's totally worth it, and it works really great. By the way, I've been talking a lot about flanking, but that's not the only option the Rifleman has. It's an extremely valid one for getting kills, and that's how you cash out. But you can definitely play frontline and hang with the best of them. especially with this ability. You can see here I missed a bunch here. It was kind of laggy. It didn't come through in the video, but in real life it was pretty laggy. But I killed a couple of those guys with it on that flank. And you'll see in this video, I'm able to go around the back of the control point, or command post. I think it's more accurate description in this one, because, actually I'll cite that later. Anyway, you can see I come up right here, just pull it out, taking less damage from these guys, start mowing people down, running pretty fast. I run into the objective here, flanking around the back, get 4 kills right off the bat. Obviously that's not insane or anything, but if you're getting 4 kills per life, you're doing pretty solid. 4 KD, that's pretty high. There you go. Anyway, moving on here, he's got the thermal detonator. The thermal detonator is pretty good. I like it. It's very standard, so you get that pretty much right away when you start playing the game. I think he comes equipped with a thermal detonator. He actually does. A lot of the abilities you come equipped with, but you can get a star card, which is what I have, to increase the blast radius, which I think is also something you unlock right away. Not really sure. It increases the blast radius, does more damage that way, and it decreases its cooldown, which is actually very, very good for the thermal detonator, for the rifleman in general, because you can keep enemies at bay a lot longer, and that's pretty nice. It works very well as well, and it's just great. You can see there I have my right ability. I actually equipped that one. It's called Toughen Up. I would highly recommend it. It's like the adrenaline stim from the previous Battlefront. When you run low on health, you can just kick it on, you start regenerating health right away. It's very nice. It increases his durability exponentially in the battlefield, and it allows you to really clutch objectives, like I will probably put in a highlight reel. You can also see the thermal detonator right there destroying some enemies. It's pretty nice. So moving on here, the rifleman, his best friend is mobility. You want to stay mobile with the rifleman. You don't want to try and hold down an area. Usually he's good for that. You can if you have to. Like if you're trying to hold down an objective, the rifleman does pretty well comparatively to some other units. Obviously he's not better than the heavy. The heavy is great for holding down objectives. But you want to stay mobile. You can see here I'm just running through their objective, running right away to the objective and just going hard. You want to stay mobile. It helps you out a lot. And when you combine all of the things that I have said in this video, staying mobile, flanking, using your abilities to the max, trying to stay in cover with him, and all that good stuff, and getting a little bit of luck mixed in there when you use your charge, ability with the scattergun, where he takes point, you will end up getting really good streaks. Obviously you need a little bit of luck because you can't prepare for everything, but it works really well. You can see here I'm going pretty hard to start off with, but this ends up turning into an 11-player streak, which is very good. I'm excited about that. 11 kill streaks as a regular trooper are pretty solid, so I was happy with this life in the game. And then there's another one in the next one where I end up going 12-1, surviving the entire game. So it's like, hey, that's pretty awesome. Like, it's the way to go. The rifleman. So I will let you enjoy the rest of this gameplay. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Some of these tips, hopefully they help you out. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoy. Get out there and play some Battlefront 2. This is Stealth Taco signing off.
Stay on guard. The threat is not over. Turbo laser wired up. The resistance and those
They Shield are huddled inside the castle. We will seize it with a head-on assault.
Only I can save you.
Command has sent one of our best to assist. Taking control.
We have the castle and we have control.